That's the most important thing that you need to do. It's not about only understanding vertical knowledge, finance, marketing, HR, operations, supply chain, and digital and all that stuff. But understand how do companies make money? What is their business model? How do input come in? What get processed? What's the output that they give you, right? So make sure that you understand the context, you understand the business. Today when companies hire you, one thing that we all forget is it is not about, they want to understand, are you looking for a job or are you looking for a job in my company? How will you convince the recruiter sitting in front of you that, sir, I'm actually made for your company, not for any other company? And what does this question mean? It means you need to prepare very deeply. I think again this got covered today, so I'm not going into the details of that. You need to really understand the company, what it does, its product and services, its customers, its business model. People do internship. When we ask questions, do you know the turnover of the company? No answer. I jokingly share an example. I was doing a final interview of a student, and after I would have said yes, the student would have got hired. And my googly question to him was, why do you want to join this company? We have been making losses for the last 7 quarters. And this student like, oh sir, you're making losses? I said, okay, what do you want to do? He said, he was in doubt. I said, do you have any other option? He said, yes sir, I'm shortlisted in another company. I said, okay, what do you want to do? He said, sir, give me 5 minutes, I'll think and come back. Imagine his final interview. He went out of the room and never came back. Right? So that's the level of preparedness that students have. We were not a loss-making company. It was just a googly question to him. So make sure that you understand the business that you want to join, you understand the environment that you want to join. Dhande mein paisa kidhar is extremely important. The third element is what we call as aptitude versus attitude. Companies are looking for people who want to make it happen. Okay, they're not simply looking at the toppers. I keep giving you an example that the person who made the first 200 crore in my MBA batch was a guy who was ranked 69th in the class of 72 students. But he was the one who started a company and built a 200 crore company, the first person to do in my batch, right? So it doesn't matter academically, you may not be great. The basics have to be right. And you need to make sure that you're prepared, for that final interview. The last bit from me, make sure that you get some practical experience. One of the challenges we find in the class is the whole appreciation about the subject is not there. Make sure that when you are doing some subject, every semester at least have 1 or 2 practical projects that you do. Gain that practical experience. Let summer internship not be the first time that you see a corporate. Okay, I remember a case last year when the students called me and said, sir, मैं क्या करूँ 2 weeks से तो मेरा manager मिलता ही नहीं है. How do I do my internship? Don't be into that situation. So make sure that you've seen a company. You want to work for an NBFC? Have you seen an NBFC branch? Compare an NBFC branch with a bank branch. NBFC branch may not be an air-conditioned branch. Somewhere in the 4th floor, in a corner room, there could be an NBFC with 6 chairs and a few cubicles. You have a view of a air-conditioned bank branch and join an NBFC, you will be totally taken aback, right? So make sure that you visit companies, you get some practical experience. Okay, so with that basic background, I'm going to kind of start putting some questions to the panel. My first question to the panel, and it's a common question to all of you. What do you think in this change environment? And let's give Mike, and it's a common question, everybody will try and address that. What is this change environment? What are recruiters really looking for from our Gen Z talent? What are they looking for?
I think so I think what you said in the change environment, right, with Gen A and all, I think what recruiters would be looking for is like you have the basic skills, right? Of course, there's academic basic skills plus the AI basic skills. Right? If because see, what is going to happen, like, what we are seeing the effect of Gen AI now, like, AI and even the AI, and more things are going to happen. And then I, like, at least being AI company, right, in the next 5 years, a lot of things are going to change, right? From the time you wake up to the time you sleep, you check your routine, right? Maybe when you're working or even or your weekends routine, right? Most of those things are going to change. Your phone will be, hopefully, nowadays we're spending a lot of time on phone. Your phone will, hopefully, will not be the phone in the same form. It will be, right? It might be, it will be still be in some other form. Maybe it will be a function that you're talking to. And somebody's, just, if you need some information, maybe you're seeing it somewhere or you're listening to somewhere. Right? It will be in totally different form. So, a lot of things has to be redesigned. From starting from the processes in the enterprises that we are doing. Like, most of the guests here talked about SAP today, right? I mean, and that is basically, it's a great company, and it's a great, it has a great product as well, right? But it has been designed 25 years back in the environment that is in today. And today, most of those things, and those things are manual. Today with AI, some of these parts, whether those initial parts, middle parts, or last part, can be automated totally. And only humans can be involved in 1 or 2 other places. That's what we are doing as a company, right? But I think as an industry and as a world, most of the things are going to change, and we have to reimagine the processes. We have to reimagine all the products. We have to reimagine the industries. And if we have to do that, then the people that people like us who have designed all these technologies so far, right? They know better, but you guys have fresh ideas, right? I mean, you're not tied to how things used to work in the old days. You have a freedom to think in a newer way. How the phone should be in a new world, right? How how you're, for example, how the process can be reimagined in the new way. How the transport can be reimagined in the new way, right? So I think from the new talent, I think that's what we're looking for. You have fresh ideas. You're not tied to the you're not carrying a package. So with AI plus your fresh ideas, you need to you need to ready and contribute a value to the company that will take to the world 5 years from now. That is going to be, I think, a lot different than we are sitting here.
Can you share one use case with our students that how can they use AI when they are preparing for their placement?
Yeah, I think that's a great question, right? I think, and our chief guest Amolakh also had one line over there, right? See, number one, like most of us told, you need to have a basic knowledge, whether you're MCA, whether you're corporate science knowledge, or whether you're MBA, whether it's your accounting or your people management or your other knowledge. You need to have those skills. Right? Number two, now you can check if you're applying for consulting, what are these basic questions and all those things. Like you can very well ask to ChatGPT, figure out your answers and all those things, right? But the most important part is putting those two things together. If you ask ChatGPT today, what is 1 plus 1? The answer it's going to give is 2. Your job, like Amol said very correctly, because you know the context, you know the company, and you have an emotional intelligence. Your job is take your basic knowledge plus the general information that is available in ChatGPT and give an answer that 1 plus 1 is not 1 but 11. You're adding a lot of information, a lot of context, a lot of intelligence of your own, which ChatGPT doesn't have to give that answer, right? I think that should be what you should be thinking about.
Amolakh, if I ask you, wearing the HR hat, I think our students are wanting to know, when you look at the resume, there is thousands of resumes will come to you, right? What are the 3 or 4 things that you tell our students to really look for and say, please make sure that these things are there in the resume?
So when I look at your resume, basically you have to talk about what are the life projects you've worked on. I'm talking about from an IT perspective, right? What are the life projects you've worked on? What do you know about the technology? You have to talk about that. Generally what happens is people dress it up. Now you have AI, it can generate your CV in just 5 minutes. We also have an AI which tells us if you've generated using AI. right? So it doesn't really work that well. So what I need from your generation is you generally know how to use AI very well, better than me. By the time you join my organization or any other organization, you would have a AI which you generally trust. It can be ChatGPT, it can be Gemini, it can be Napkin AI, anything, Perplexity. So you would have got your preferences by then, because I think you're also using it to talk to your girlfriends, benching people, etc., right? So you are already using it, but what you need to do is to, get that emotional intelligence. Understand that there's a human at the other side. AI will judge you, it will probably clear you, it will come to me, and then I will judge you as a human being. Humans are not going to be replaced anytime soon. That's a myth, believe me. At least for next 2 years, we're not going to be replaced. After 2 years, who knows, right? And I really never plan very long, because in the years that I've spent, 20 plus years, I have realized that life has a habit of giving you lemons. So remember that. Don't plan too much in future. Look at the immediate future. Because when you plan too much in future, you tend to forget the present. And that's where the problem is. So I'm looking at if you will be able to handle the pressure that an organization gives you. To think that there is no pressure, there's a lot of pressure. In your generation, I find that a lot of people who after a few days of working says, sir, there's so much pressure, there's so much this. And then they have a habit of picking which skills they will work on. So people will come and say, sir, I will only work in cloud. I will only work on Python. See, what runs the industry is the money. There's a pharma company which is running on COBOL. I need people who can work on COBOL. I don't need people who work on Python for that particular project. And that company is giving me good money, so I will give you that. Right? Without naming a company, there's a company that I know which runs 7 iterations of a hospital project, which is a great hit where I have worked and I've handled that project, which is a great hit in United States of America. They have 7 versions of it, and they have a different version for Middle East, and they have a different version for India also. Right? They will not change their versions, the client will not change it, because sometimes it's pricing, sometimes it is what they need. You tend to forget that. You say, okay, I will choose this, I will work only in this is cool, this looks good. A Porsche looks good, but a Nano also takes you from point A to point B, and a Nano costs much less. What is the return on investment you're doing? I did my MBA for 60,000 bucks. At my salary, I'm getting a huge investment. What is the return on investment you're going? So these are things you should look at. You don't really look at that. You come in with a preconceived notion that, hey, I am this, I am that, and that is the problem with your generation. There's a lack of concentration there. Perhaps because you're looking at too many things. While my colleague here was talking, I was looking, there were 22 people looking at their cell phones. 12 people I could count who have their headphones in their ears, so they are actually listening to something else and not to me. So, you're missing out on this, right? And if you're coming here. So these are things that we notice. It's not that we don't notice. Girls have long hair, so probably I can't look at some of their ears, but a lot of them have earphones I can see. There are 2 gentlemen looking very, very busy while they're actually blogging about this place. I think this is going live on YouTube or something. So we do notice. And I do notice, and I am in HR. And I am the gateway for you to come in and meet these people. So understand that. Right? AI can give you an edge, but it's like a calculator. When I was doing my 12th, I heard that ICSE board had started giving calculators. I said, wow, I'll do so wonderfully well. And even today, I'm not very good with calculation, not as good as my father was. He could remember tables and do this. He used to do it in Hindi and was damn good at it. Right? I generally use AI and calculator to do that. I also use an Excel sheet. He didn't have an access to an Excel sheet. It's like, there's a colleague of mine who works with me, and he keeps on saying, and he's your generation actually. He says, I will not use medicines. He's got a cold, he's got a cough. I will get well. I'm building my immunity. Well, if you really wanted to build your immunity and wanted to do this, you should be in a caveman. Why do you want to even live in a house? You're already using these things, right? So these are your tools. A medicine is just a tool to make sure that you're well and ready to take on, right? So you should learn to use those things. Those are tools. Like AI is a tool, even a medicine is a tool. If you've got 104 fever and you come to office, you are hardly able to work. If you take a paracetamol, it goes down, and then you're able to give 8 works of productivity. I will appreciate that. it really does not help me that you got 104 fever. So, and the biggest problem is nobody's going to tell you all this there. Right? In my office, I'm paid to be nice to people. I'm also paid to not tell them the truth. But here I'm telling you the truth, believe me. Because I'm not paid to do anything other than what I'm saying here. I'm not getting paid anyhow. So
we'll jump from HR. Sorry to interrupt there. Very conscious that 30% of the jobs on offer would be financial jobs. I want to come to Lav now, if you allow me. And Lav, given the fact that you've been in this business for a long time, the way financial services have been changing, the use of technology, fintech, the way asset management companies have been building. I tell students that in India, only 8% of the money is managed by wealth managers. In US, I'm told it's 78%. If you want to really build your career in financial services, wealth management is the area to be in. So, Lav, what do you think about how should students prepare for financial jobs?
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. First and foremost, thank you so much. And Director sir is not here. He spoke about one thing, that how do we update our curriculums. So in BFSI, financial services, banking and financial services, regulator is moving faster than us. Now when we say that, do you know who is the regulator of BFSI? Financial services, capital market is SEBI. So they move faster than us. And in our discussion with sir and everybody else, we were talking about fintech revolution in India and how Bheem is better than Google Pay. So do you know when Bheem was actually put on table, it is an open architecture and actually companies, coders were allowed to copy and build on it. And that is the reason why what you see today is that we have hundreds of fintech companies. And the tribe is still growing. There's n number of payment gateways which we have in India. And that is what is facilitating each and every transaction. Whether you are paying your fee or you're paying income tax or paying your other taxes, anything and everything is fintech. And India is still growing. He spoke about banking, he spoke about mutual funds. So whenever I go to colleges, I tell them, in our batch also, I think 30% MBA students, whether it was marketing or finance, were actually absorbed into BFSI jobs.
Yeah.
Especially Mumbai is hub of BFSI because it's capital of, financial capital of the country. Now how do you prepare for that? And before that preparation also, they asked that what is the kind of skills which we look at. So I was working with a large company, probably the largest financial services company in the country called LIC. Now, I used to recruit, I think, because in my team there were close to 60 people, and at any point of time, I used to have 20% vacancy. I was not getting the kind of skill set which is required for us. And I was just looking at two things, ability to learn and willingness to learn. Nothing more than that. I have never looked at anything beyond that. If you have ability and you are willing, you can do anything. If you have ability and you are not at all willing, because you have seen those type of people also, you are able but you are not willing at all to change, to adapt, to learn, possibly you cannot be happy. So in BFSI, to be more precise, if you are actually targeting it, start doing it from first year itself. Identify your segment, use these AI tools. Learning AI tools is now no more a luxury. It's necessity because it's similar to, as Amol said, it's similar to Google. You have to learn those things. How do you do Google? How many of you know Nano Banana Pro? There's a tool, correct? Chat GPT is like becoming passive. The n number of tools evolving. Use those tools to upgrade yourself, but again remain to the core that you should be able to learn, you should be willing to learn. Choose your segment, whether you want bank, whether you want financial services, whether you want mutual funds. In US, amount of money held by AMCs, that's called asset management companies, is 120% of the GDP. In India, it's just 75-80% of the GDP. So that is a huge way to go in this segment, and as you said rightly, it's a very upcoming segment, but choose your sectors wisely And trust me, you will be getting into a very satisfying kind of a role. To take one more minute, in this, I am a pass out of this college, 2004 batch. I was picked up by an FMCG company. So I was selling soaps and shampoos. And in the transition, I moved into this mutual fund space, BFSI space, mutual fund to be very specific. And it's so satisfying a job. You are changing lives of people. You are absolutely changing lives of people, giving them right kind of advice. So as somebody said, I think Amol only said, mental well-being, financial well-being and physical well-being all are important. So when you actually work for somebody for their financial well-being, nothing more satisfying than that. Thank you.
Maybe I'll change the discussion a little bit. I think having known Sangram a little bit, he's actually a coach of cricketers. He comes from that same guru he's part of the same guru clan as Sachin Tendulkar. So I'm tempted to ask this question to you. When as an interviewer, when you see candidate in front of you, how do you really look at their level of preparedness versus the potential that they bring? As HR experts say, look at the potential of the candidate. So how do you really look at the preparedness versus the potential? And what tips will you give to our students so that they can kind of balance out between the two?
It's a very tough question. Potential abhi tak malum nahi chala. How to define it? But yeah. So coming back to an analogy, what you gave for cricket, right? Whether it's sports, whether it is getting into entrepreneurship, whether it is getting into a particular domain, some basic elements are required, which is very, very important for a best performance or having that kind of potential. There are 4 E's. Typically, what Jack Welch has spoken is, first is you need to have a lot of energy within you. Okay, that rigor has to be seen while you speak. Yeah, that energy has to come from inside. You should be convinced of what you're saying. The belief in you, the trust in you that's the confidence level. What is required to be seen. Second is how well you collaborate. So have you done in the past? We have taken some initiatives together and you created some projects. Showcase those. Collaboration is very important. Teamwork is important in the organization. Very critical, right? While we say all these things, what is that edge you would like to bring to the table? Edge in terms of your skill and also your knowledge, domain knowledge, and your will, what we spoke, right? And at the end is showcase your execution capabilities. You need to deliver, right? You need to execute. Very simple example is, if I have knowledge of batting, if I'm not able to deliver the shot, it's of no use, right? It's very, very important that while you do all these things, be mindful. We spoke about mindfulness, right? Be in the present. Future is there, but be in the present while you speak, while you convince people, because that will give you a lot of thought clarity and you will be always conscious about what you are saying, what you're not saying, right? So all these things together, I feel we check, and I personally check all these things. While I also recruit my team members, and as a sportsman, very important is commitment with ourselves. You need to be committed to yourself. These are all softer areas, but very, very important in the world of AI also. If you don't show the commitment, you are not responsible of yourself, you don't have right attitude, you are not adaptable to the situation, it is not going to work, right? So you need to be flexible, you need to be open to learn, and agility in your learning is required. So all these things are very, very important from my standpoint. And while we say all these things, 3 C's are very important to be kept in mind. One is the capability what you have within you, what you have learned, and you are learning, right? It's a continuous process of learning. Capability is to be showcased. Second is capacity. When you say capacity, in terms of your understanding of the systems, understanding of processes, understanding of what's happening in the market, capacity has to grow, right? And third is very important is right culture, you also bring culture to the organization, right? Culture is not from the organization, it's always from people who come to the organization as well, right? So therefore, packages what you bring, the belief systems what you bring is very, very important for the organization to really look into. Yeah, thanks.
Great, thank you. Kiran, thank you. If I may ask you, Kiran, so we jump to manufacturing now, and Kiran, kind of, the work they are doing across MSMEs and industries. If, let's say there are operations students sitting here, and they are hearing you. If you look at operations CV, and you're talking to an operations student, what are some of those 2 or 3 things you want to highlight to them that these are really critical if you are coming for an interview?
Thank you. First of all, I must give thanks to the Bharati Vidyapeeth, IMED, that they have organized this particular forum where variety of people can come together, share their experiences, thoughts, and student can grasp and they try to appear for the interview if they want to pursue job or they want to become an entrepreneur. For your question related to the operations guy, but I will take a thread from the earlier question regarding the preparedness and potential. Preparedness is just like if there are questions related to operations, what are the production processes, how it works, what are the goals, what is cycle time, how it can be reduced. All these questions people can come prepared and they can give digital answers. Whether it is going to give a full marks or whether we are in a position to select that person or candidate, that is up to the interviewer. But when it comes to the potential, then definitely person like me will put some conditions in front of them. Like take example of a production loss or stoppage of the machine, that you are alone as a supervisor or as an engineer on the line and there are nobody in the third shift to help you out. What will be your first action? What you are going to do? So these situational based questions, I will try to answer and try to gauge what type of thought process the candidate is applying to arrive at the best possible solution which can handle or tackle the problem. So such kind of questions may come in any area, any verticals, like in finances, like in supply chain, material stoppages, delivery stoppages. All these questions can be put as an example and try to gauge what the thought process the candidate is carrying. So that will lead to the potential of that candidate, whether I'm going to look at this person as a long term, whether he's going to really fit to the job, that will carry more value as far as the operational part is concerned. Thank you.
If we can move on, so given the fact that IT offers the second largest number of jobs, right? And IT themselves are in trouble because of the whole AI thing that's going on. So let's say students here are applying for jobs in IT services companies or IT product companies. What are those 3 or 4 things you'll advise them to kind of look at and prepare when they come for interviews?
Okay, first of all, good evening all. Basically, every candidate has to be, what we can say, his career objective is defined and crystal clear. The thought process is very clear because many times I can see that if we are offering something Java role or testing role, then they will say no, particularly about the freshers. So they are saying that no, my friend is working on Java Python, so I also would like to join that role. So first of all, you have to be very clear what you want to do in your particular career. So accordingly, you can choose your path and select your domain. So that is one point. Second thing, definitely recruiter will see how you learn quickly, then flexibility, then what we can say, these are the points.
Okay. Let me change from the basics to getting practical exposure, right? One of the complaints that recruiters have is students don't have enough practical experience. Any of you can address this question. Why do you think, from a recruiter standpoint, practical experience is important? And what are those 2 or 3 nuances that you look for when you are evaluating practical experience? Maybe you can keep the mic.
See, to me, when I look at practical experience or when I look at what kind of summer internship or projects which you have done, is just to see that how much you are prepared to take the role. Trust me, what has happened, I know that Gen Z do not have that kind of patience. But that is also true to the companies. Nowadays, companies also, there were days that companies used to train you for 6 months. Internship, training within the organization, paid trainings. Now that era is fading away very fast. So what is happening now that we look at candidates who can join immediately and start delivering. And to do that, you should have right kind of certification, you should have right kind of projects. As I said in previously also, if you are saying that, okay, I want to become a research analyst. Now, it's easier said than done. Who doesn't want to become a fund manager? I think you also wanted to become. So you want to become a fund manager. How many stock research have you done? Where is that work? Without that, I would assume that if the candidate comes on board, I will have to invest 6 months to train him to do that. So from the preparedness point of view, I think it's very, very important what you do in your projects.
Okay. Do you want to address the practical experience part?
So, I would be looking a little less on what you've done in internship, because not every company will give you a chance to work on live projects or test environment. What I would be looking at is, what do you know about the technology? Have you got your hands dirty? Right? I'll give a personal example. When I was a student, where you are today, I was there also once, I had made my own SMTP server. So when I went for hiring, I knew how I had compiled it, how I had done it, and that helped me. We really don't really look at what the CV says or what you say it is, right? We look at what you know. Because a lot of time people, these days, since IT has become a big craze, I was doing a hiring, and there was this gentleman, he had come for an IT job, but he was a communication engineer. He did not know anything about a jitter. He did not know anything about what is a jitter or anything in the communication, or what is the difference between radio waves or TV waves, basic things. Since I'm an engineer, I knew about it, and I have taken a lot of interviews, so I also know about it. Now, I didn't ask him anything. I figured out what his project was, and was he really good? He was really good. So we took him in. So we're looking at what you've been doing, because even in the college you'll be doing a lot of stuff, right? And college you do a lot of stuff because you can do a lot of stuff. There's a lot of information available. There is a lot of things that you can do that you really can't do in a corporate environment. I carry 2 phones. One is, I jailbreak. I keep on trying new things on it. One has got my official email, so I can't do anything on it. So keep that spark alive. You have to keep on learning. You can't stop learning even a single day. The day you stop learning is the day there'll be somebody like me taking you for an exit. I'm being very frank. So, real things that you worked on, that's what we are looking, and that is what we will gauge you on. And even the technical people will gauge you on it. And then we need people who can work under pressure, because there's always a lot of pressure. There's a gentleman from your college who's in Amazon, he can tell you that they want to fire 20% of your chaps every year. That's what they do. So understand the pressure you're going in, and what happens is that you're still on the school mode. You think that everything is going to be honky-dory. Even in corporate, it's still a school mode, because you're coming in with instead of a school bag, you'll be carrying a laptop bag, there'll be tiffin, there'll be a water bottle, nothing has changed, and there's an annual examination also, which is your annual appraisal, and somebody like you will be taking that, right? So nothing changes in life. What you're doing today, you will be doing after 20 years also. Just that the threshold will change and the amount of compensation will change. I hope that answers.
Okay, yeah, given that I had a lot of hands being raised because students are going for summer internship, can we, maybe you want to address this, Santosh, if students are going for summer internship and first time they're getting into corporate, what are those 2 or 3 tips you will give them to make the best use of this internship opportunity?
Sure. I think, the first thing I would say is that I think you should try to get an internship. I think even Dhavalikar, as you also was saying earlier, right? Even his faculty is doing an internship, because working in a corporate environment is a little bit different, right? You get used to different working style. You need to work in team, right? You need to collaborate. Generally, in our colleges, at least in the Indian system, we compete a lot. And now suddenly in the work culture, you have to. So there are a lot of these things that come only when you enter a company. So try to get internship. You should do internship. That's number one. Number two, I think once you join internship, I think what we are looking for you is initially like in the first 2 weeks or 4 weeks, right? I mean, there is no pressure to deliver as such, but you should pick up things like how things are working in that environment, right? You should talk. Yeah. How things are getting done, right? Just learn from different teams, and once you pick that up, then you should try to deliver on it, right? And then in your internship, I think certain very subtle signals also matter. Maybe your work ethics, right? Nowadays, I don't even look at like how much percentage of what we do here, right? But when you're doing internship, it's very important that you're coming regularly to the company, right? Even if you're not delivering, you're working with the team. Even if you're not working, you're helping somebody else in his work, right? So work ethics is very important. Whether it's 3 months, 6 months, complete that internship and do the process, right? And like you said, I think the teamwork is very, very important with the AI era, because not one person can do everything. Even I'm sitting here, my team is working, right? There are like 5 people delivering for a customer, right? So it's all teamwork. If one of them is not doing his job, the product cannot be delivered to the customer. So everybody is important, and we need to work with each other to finally deliver to the customer.
Okay, maybe a next level question on that. So pre-placement offers have become very important for students, right? So you go for internship, you do well, and companies give you PPOs. What are some of the tips that you would give to students so that they are better prepared, not only do a good quality summer internship, but actually focus to get a PPO? What should they do?
So first of all, you need to be prepared for all kind of questions, and where you would like to. So very important is the clarity what you have to have in your mind. It's very important, and that is homework what is required to be done by you all. Before even you sit for any kind of PPO pre-placement talk, or say any kind of interview process later on. But it's very important that what is that? What is your passionate area? What is that you want to do? Your purpose has to be very clear. You should have a lot of clarity in your mind, and that will help you to really go better prepared, and have that confidence while you it gets generated during your interviews and the later process. That's what I feel you all should do.
Would you like to add something? Yeah.
Yeah, regarding this internship, I must tell you that if you have a chance, please act for that, go for that. If it is a manufacturing company, nothing like it. You will have experience and exposure to all the departments. If it is startup, that is the fantastic thing, because you will also get a feeling of ownership of many issues, problems, department. As I understand, the question was if an intern want to be a part of an employee, what practices or what things he should do or she should do, is that it is a curiosity. It has to be there always. It should not be limited to the specific purpose or specific department. Your eyes and ears should be open what is happening in the company. Like business point of view, what is the profit loss, finances. If you are techno-savvy, you are more into technical things, still you must know what are the customer demands, expectations, what are the processes being followed, what quality checks are there, what are the methods of material handling and product handling. So in the internship phase, ask HR department to have a rotation, induction program. Normally all HR is doing, but very few interns, they show the interest. They are more busy on the computers nowadays rather than physically moving around and standing on the shop floor and understanding the processes. So if management understands that 1 or 2 interns, they have a more openness or understanding related to as a business point of view, or they have something value-added contribution in the limited time, definitely they will get a chance to being absorbed as an employee. I think this gives the answer to your question.
Sure.
Thank you.
Maybe my question to you on that is, in IT, how do you see pre-placement offers happening, and what are some of the skills that employers are looking for when they evaluate pre-placement offers of employees?
Replacement, it's basically Java, .NET. These are the hot skills, and then accordingly, telecom domain, it is Netcool, Netcracker. These are the skills which we are looking, and that's it. These are the
Okay, so maybe I'm conscious of time, and I think I'm told that we'll have question and answers maybe when we go and have our get together, so kind of we'll go for the next one. Let me summarize. So I think the message that we're getting from the panel, as you see, is basics are very, very important. Along with the basics, make sure that you have some goal for yourself. We tell candidates to have their short-term and medium-term goals. How confident you feel, and I tell this story to students that one of my batchmates went for an interview, okay, and in our days interviews used to be very, very formal, so red carpet rooms, and Mr. Tiwari enters the room and 6 people sitting in the panel, and Mr. Tiwari's leg gets stuck in the carpet and falls in front of the panel. Imagine final interview, you fall in front of the panel, what will happen? The lady in the panel told Mr. Tiwari, what Mr. Tiwari, how will you manage yourself? How will you manage the company? You can't manage yourself. Vivek Tiwari stood up, he looked at the panel, smiled and said, Madam, I'm falling for your company. Yeah, so many a times you need to be that person who can really respond, that presence of mind, and not getting bogged down. In fact, we tell students that if you get a googly question, you don't need to answer every question in 5 seconds. Ask the panel member, ma'am, sir, can I take 30 seconds? And I tell students jokingly, nobody is looking at the stopwatch to say, did you take 30 seconds or 90 seconds? Make sure you're carrying a pen and a paper. Write down your thoughts. Use those 60 seconds to think about that question and answer, okay? Don't jump to answering questions. I think basics are important. Your preparedness is important. Your focus is important. With that, we'll conclude this. Thank you so much for your time, and I thank the panel members. And I hope you got some value and some access from the panel. Thank you very much.
Thank you to our panelists for such an engaging and enriching discussion. The exchange of ideas, experience, and real-world insights were truly inspiring. At this moment, I would like to invite Dr. Shravan Kalvekar sir to kindly come forward to felicitate our panel members. Mr. Sanjiv Kumar Tripathy.
No, sorry, there was fine. I think we had great people in the panel.
Next up, we have Mr. Lav Kumar. Dr. Sangramnath Pawar. Mr. Santosh Esasale. Mr. Kiran Vaidya. Mr. Amolakh Nath Segel. Mr. Rohit Dhavalikar. I now request all our panelists to please gather together for a group photograph. You may now take your seats along with our distinguished guests as we proceed with the next panel session. Thank you, guests. The journey from education to employment is one that every student envisions, but only a few truly understand. Our next discussion focuses on navigating this crucial transition, presenting panel discussion, campus to corporate. This panel will shed light on real-life corporate experiences, challenges faced by fresh graduates, and adaptability, mindset, and professional growth. Moving on to our next session, I now invite the moderator for panel discussion to kindly join us on stage. May I request Dr. Nidhi Dhanju, founder of Pune Training Company, to please come forward and take the charge of this panel discussion. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Nidhi Dhanju, a seasoned HR leader turned entrepreneur. With over 2 decades of global HR experience, including leadership roles in organizational effectiveness, talent development, and strategic people practices, she now leads Pune Training Company, building an inclusive training ecosystem that connects organizations with experts. We look forward to her insights and engaging discussion ahead. Let's welcome her with a warm round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, to commence this panel discussion, we are proud to dedicate this session to our IMED alumni, affectionately known as IMED Gems. May I invite them to kindly grace the dais and take their respective seats. We are delighted to introduce our distinguished panelists whose journeys after IMED reflect in excellence across industries. We begin with Mr. Kartikeya Chaturvedi, an MBA graduate working in machine learning operations at Amazon, contributing at the intersection of AI, data, and scalable systems. Next, we welcome Dr. Ishal Gadar, whose academic journey in human resources has shaped his career as the HR head at Reliance Industries. He brings rich experience in managing large-scale and diverse workforces in complex organizations. Joining him is Mr. Manish Roshan, an MBA professional and the founder and CEO of Roshan Research International, an entrepreneur driving research-led innovation and building impactful business solutions. We then have Dr. Ujjwal Bhattacharjee, an MBA graduate and a seasoned management consultant known for his strategic insights in leadership, organizational growth, and business transformation. We then welcome Mr. Nachiket Divekar, an MBA professional and senior manager at Tata Technologies, leading technology-driven transformation initiatives across global platforms. And finally, we welcome Ms. Darshini Dave, an MBA graduate and global learning partner at Capgemini, driving global learning initiatives and leadership capability development. Please join me in welcoming our moderator and panelists with a warm round of applause. I now hand over the stage to our moderator, Dr. Nidhi Dhanju, who will guide us through this insightful discussion.
Thank you so much. So, since we are the last panel, I'm sure all of us are waiting when we are going to get out of the room. So it's going to be very hard for me to moderate this session. I can see some smiles and also nods about yes. Well, our job is to ensure that we try for you not to see on your phones and and also the phones and what you put in your ears, to just discontinue listening from us and make sure that you are engaged and learn something from this panel today. Very warm welcome to all the panelists. Thank you so much for being here. I think we are on a very interesting phase today when it comes to campus to corporate. Very interesting intersection phase that we are on, and there are so many reasons to this. One, we are in an age where I have an 18-year-old daughter, and she's in COEP doing computer science, who is telling me, I don't want to work. I said, what does that mean? And I mean, today I think the generation is pretty vocal about their views, and two, they're absolutely not scared. I'm talking about all of you. Absolutely not scared. I mean, for us, it's like a matter of chula jalana hai ghar ka, so kaam karna hai. That scare is not there anymore. Yeah. In some ways, it's very good because then you're pursuing your passion, you're looking at different things, etc. But फिर भी घर में चूल्हा तो है. You still have to, live, right? So I keep telling her, I'm going to cut your funding at 22, so you figure out how you're going to do the H&M and the Zara and everything else that you want to buy, right? Yeah, you still need money for that, if nothing else. So we are at a crossroads where we don't know what the students are very vocal about gig economy, working for some time, maybe taking off. And I don't know how many of us are following Ryan Rilowski, and I really would strongly encourage the students to follow Ryan Rilowski. He's the CEO of LinkedIn. And he talks about that careers are never going to go like this. They've never gone like this. It's a myth that careers go like this. They go in loops. And more and more, the careers of the 21st century are going in loops. So you start off in a job, and then you take a 2-year sabbatical. Doing what? Trekking in the Himalayas. And then you come back, and then you do something, you take care of a family member, and you just take off for another year. And then you go back to doing something as a startup. And then so it's very, very interesting what's going to happen. People are not going to have 30, 40 years of just careers in a particular stream anymore. It's going to be more gig, it's going to be more versatile, it's going to be more horizontal, it's going to be everything that's not happened today, right? And it's going to be very, very interesting how the dynamics of this whole thing from campus to corporate will work, right? I know the earlier panel talked a lot also about internships, why internships are great, and I'm a big believer of internships. But today, there are so many of us who, and Vinita of Sugar, because I'm sure Vinita through Shark Tank, we all know her. She's the famous person who rejected the 1 crore package after IIT Chennai and Ahmedabad and chose to follow a startup and her passion. So it's going to be looking very different. It's going to be looking very, very interesting. With that, I would just like to open this up for the entire panel to engage in. What do you still think about field experience for management studies? Do you think it still holds relevance? And how students are going to engage in operational aspects, marketing realities, and the whole aspect of field experience? Please, any of us can go. Thank you.
I will go. Yeah. Thank you. So yes, absolutely, I fully agree that field experience is extremely important, along with your, the academic curriculum, whatever you have, because in theory you understand something in the university and college, but when you are at the field, at that point of time, you actually get the practical perspectives. Like suppose, I represent also a medical fraternity and industry. If you are in the OT, how can somebody explain you how you have to help in OT? Like in a medtech industry, basically during any kind of a surgery, you need to support the doctor. And these are the the management and medical science graduate, and they're doing the MBA. There are a lot of institutes they provide that. So these kind of experience you get in OT, you don't get in the classroom. Similarly, like in a chemical setup, like when you are going to meet the customer, you realize on the shop floor, because the concept of solution partnering, until when you have a niche product, that time you need to really, if you need to sell with a high premium your products, you need to understand actually your product very well and able to explain to the entrepreneur, the businessman. Then they will buy, because the cheaper products are available in the market. Why people will buy? And if you are recruited for that kind of a job, how you will be able to really show the value proposition? So that while doing this kind of a field programs, and I have tested these kind of a concept, and it worked very well. That hiring few people for internships or some kind of a field kind of projects, and 3-4 months putting them across India, and working with various customers at the field along with the managers, they actually gain more ability, and out of that, maybe 2 or 3 absolutely becomes definitely a future employee of the company. So that's how you create your employability and understanding.
Right.
I fully agree. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Please go ahead, Darshini.
Yeah,
Yes,
adding to Dr. Ujjwal, I think I come from millennial and I'm between the Gen Z, Gen Alpha and this side, and I see the gap.
Yeah.
So Gen Z needs practical exposure, needs someone to speak in their terms.
Right.
And going back to the roots, maybe I think 10-15 years down the line when we didn't have smartphones. I remember when I had my first smartphone,
Right.
no one taught us.
Yeah.
I went, tapped on each and every option, saw for myself.
Right.
Connecting that to the same field experience until you don't go on the field,
Yeah.
you are not going to see the other side of the story. You are not going to see why the person is not able to give you time, why the interviews are not starting on time, where the delay.
Right.
So connecting to a very layman language,
Right.
which the Gen Z needs, someone to talk on their language. You know, if you want a smartphone, if you have a smartphone, I don't think our parents have taught smartphone. As far as I remember, I have taught my parents how to use a smartphone.
Right.
So they, even if our next generations have created technology, I think Gen Z being the end user, they are going to be the ones who are going to use it.
Right.
So until and unless they step on the field, they step in the shoes of the management.
Right.
There comes role plays and case studies where you step into the management shoes and you understand how the business works, because they don't have that experience.
Okay.
They are looking for it.
Sure. I think that makes sense. Yes. Nachiket?
So, if you see today's most of the startups, most of these so-called billion-dollar valuation startups, all of them have become successful by making us lazy. Making us lazy, right? So, if you want to have food, don't go to a restaurant, order it at home. If you want to go from point A to point B, don't travel, don't take public transport, just order a rapid
Very
Uber.
interesting. Okay.
Whatever. I mean, if you want quick commerce, just do a Blinkit. So what this has done is it has made us lazy, dependent on certain platforms, and that has now got into our psyche. The next advance, this was stage 1. Now stage 2 is Gen AI. Now, I mean, we should never forget that all these AIs are made to help us, to make us productive. They are subservient to us, not the vice versa. With more and more increasingly dependencies on AI, I see simple queries today being put on Gen AI, on ChatGPTs for answers, queries being put on ChatGPTs for answers, emails. Drafting is very simple, basic drafting skills have been outsourced to ChatGPT. Email drafting, which is, I don't even call it a skill today, right? Even that has been outsourced to ChatGPT. This is a very dangerous precedent. So basically, we are trying to outsource thinking, critical thinking, also to ChatGPT. This is something which I would request students to be. You may have easy access to it now, but in the long run, it is going to actually be detrimental. So while you use ChatGPTs and all these AI tools for your benefit, please remember that you should also take every effort to put fresh efforts. Put your mind into any projects which you do, any kind of presentations which you do. Don't just Google it and put everything on ChatGPT. Give them some prompts and make a presentation. That's it. That's ready. If you keep doing it, that will show up one day on your when you actually go for an interview. That will show up. It will expose you on day 1. Someone said that we have enough AI tools also to understand whether you have faked a CV or not. So AI tools are able to counter AI also. We should not forget that. So this is what I would say that we should absolutely remember.
Oh, that's very interesting what you say, and I'll of course come to all of us. How many of us are using ChatGPT?
There you go.
Right. Okay. And how many of us are using ChatGPT currently for the college work? All all the hands are up.
Live demo.
Oh, jeez. No, but that puts us in a very interesting situation because there are two schools of thoughts that are going in organizations today. And what's the name of the music company which is very famous? Spotify. Now, what did Spotify do? Spotify gave licenses of not the ChatGPT, but a really great version of ChatGPT. You know what? My colleagues will know. To all 24,000 employees. They said, "आपको करना है ठीक है ये लो platform में आपको देते हैं, And then there's another company called Airbnb, and they said, "We will not give you anything." Yeah, I mean it's public news, so you can go and type it and Google it. And they said, "No, we don't want to be part of this hustle, and we are not going to do it." Both of them are tech platforms, both of them billion-dollar companies, both of them doing really well. So I think, Nachiket, to your point, I don't know if there is any right or wrong answer. The answer, the response today is everyone is ChatGPT. It's the reality today, whether you go in corporates, your students, or an individual entrepreneur like myself, everybody is ChatGPT. Now, where are we going to reach the point where it's going to be take it or leave it? We don't know. We don't know the answer. But I'm just leaving this with all of us because all of us are in the same thing. But thanks for pointing that out. Thank you. We move here in the room. Would you like to please come in?
Sure. Thank you so much. Firstly, a lovely audience here today, and thank you so much for hosting this for us. I think Amol sir said, in the beginning of his speech today that we need to go back to basics, right? So let me take you back to basics. So today, if your brother, sibling, or anybody from your house or family asks you that I want to, kind of get into my 10th or let's say +1, +2, right? Would you be able to recommend them, an option? The answer is most likely yes. Reason being, you have already gone through, that experience, right? Now, for an example, you're already here in IMED today, right? Tomorrow, when anybody from your family or back in hometown asks you which college or let's say what sort of a stream management is, you'll be able to consult them around it, right? So my point is that when we talk about field experience, we need to go back to basics and be curious. At Amazon, we say that we have a leadership principle called learn and be curious, right? So, and I know that we have said like maybe 1,000 times the word AI, ChatGPT today in our conference, but we really need to think from the basics and be open to kind of field experiences. And that's what I want to say. Just be curious to kind of learn, and you will be able. Tomorrow you will be in a corporate from campus, and you will be consulting people, right? So, and by the way, like I want to point out, we have some amazing volunteers today from the college, right? Let's give a huge round of applause for all the volunteers who have worked tirelessly for this, right? Now let's give this example, right? In their company, let's say tomorrow they are asked to do an event, right? And somebody is working in the audio over there, somebody is working managing stakeholders coming in, right? Somebody is managing the audience, right? Tomorrow, because they have done this today, right? They will be able to recommend stuff later on, right? So it's as basic as this. If you do not kind of get your hands dirty, follow the basics, no AI will be able to help you. So yeah.
That's so true. Thank you so much, Kartikeya, for mentioning that. I had a candidate come in, and when I was head HR for Michelin, and I said internships किया है? नहीं मैडम internship वगैरह कुछ नहीं किया. मैंने कहा कुछ field experience? मैडम ढोल ताशा किया है. मैंने कहा okay ढोल ताशा किया है. She said yes ma'am, I was the group leader for ढोल ताशा. I've done it for many years. I said okay, let's talk about ढोल ताशा. What did we learn from it? She said, my God, I've managed horrendous people and great people. And it's a very rigorous routine. If some of you have done Dhol Tasha, because you are assigned to go in different venues, the time slots, you have to sleep in a certain space sometimes because some of the Dhol Tashas are at night. And she was able to talk about team dynamics through Dhol Tasha. So what I'm trying to leave for this and building on to what my colleague here said is, try many things. Experience will count so much, and varied experience will count a lot today, because a lot of our brain is going to sadly be taken over by AI. So what is left is communication. How do you present? How do you get exposure to varied aspects? That's going to be very critical today. Yeah. How do you manage team dynamics? Very, very critical today. Let's hear it from one of our colleagues here, please.
Yeah, thank you. Regarding field work, right?
Yeah.
So, what we learn in colleges are theories, but let me take you through what is to be learned from field work, what is basically field work, or what you are going to face, right? Some of you must be from marketing, right? Any marketing, MBA is marketing, anyone? Very few, fine. HR? Lot of HR, yeah? Some of you would be given task to fill a position. You would source CVs. You would believe those CVs are great. You would give to the managers. Out of 10, all 10 CVs would be rejected in the interview. For marketing, you would make 10 sales calls, cold calls. You will go meet the customer. Maybe none of them would get it, right? This is what we call as learning in corporate. But there is another way of looking at it. This is something which is equivalent to failure. Yeah? If you are in colleges, you are getting good marks, right? Teacher pats you, hey, good job done. You pass all the subjects. Where is the failure that we see? We had this ranking system, so you used to feel, yeah, I got 10th rank, so there are 9 people ahead of me. But nowadays they are grading system, so everyone feels that I am A great student, right? So a lot of us are not seeing failure, right? That is one thing that you would go in corporate and see, hey, things fail. Yeah? We have just before the exam, we study for 8 hours, 9 hours, 10 hours, right? In corporate, daily you have to work for 8 hours, 9 hours, 10 hours, and during the weekend, the boss gives you an assignment, follows up, and your weekend is also screwed. So basically what I want to tell you is there is going to be a great amount of... Hello. So this happens when, like Segel Saab said, HR gives you the truth and not everyone wants to listen, so mic also stops here. The hard fact is, this psychological disconnect that you are going to experience, or what you call as psychological dissociation, cognitive dissociation, kuch bhi bol lo, right? This is something that you have to experience firsthand, and you cannot experience this in theory. A professor would come and give a lecture of psychology for 10 days, 10 hours, or whatever it is. Till the time you cannot make those tears stop and move to the next person and do the next job, you won't be strong, right? And your field makes you strong, makes you realize what is that you're going to face, whether you're cut out for that or not. And if you are not cut out for that, it will give you enough hints and it will tell you, better be ready for that, because that is what you want to experience, right? So I believe that is what is something that we are missing when it comes to field, right? People want to do projects which are strategy, which is getting some data from internet and everything, but not hard field. But till the time you don't get hard field, you are not going to be hardened. This dissociation, you got to take care of it.
Thank you.
Those are my 2 cents.
Thanks a lot, Richard. Manish, would love your inputs and feedback.
Well, hi. Hello. Audible? However, this question is probably, we call it an old hat. Probably 20 years back, we were in the same, right? We are talking about, field experience, what you're talking about, right? And so in 2026, we are talking about the same. I don't know what to respond, but I mean, see, I'm working in this MBA, MCA, BBA industry for more than 50 plus experience. I mean, more than 50 years, right? Hello, audible, right? I mean, of course, a lot of people have said a lot of. I mean, previously also a lot of sessions have been held, and a lot of people have been said about field experience. What I would say, won't take much of your time, irrespective of the functions, I mean, functionality, HR, marketing, whatever it is, right? To conclude, I would just say, you just have to get your hand dirty, right? AI is growing your life, so try to, stay away from AI. I mean, of course, I could say, I think a couple of weeks back, I was there at MIT, and I got to know that, there has been an app which has come up which can even write the assignments, right? Handwritten assignments, wherein, MBA and, everybody we are obliged to write, right? So, anyways, I'll be waiting for my next question to come. Get ready to get your hands dirty. Look, what I'm not talking about from, I'm just talking about from my own experience. See, I'm just an MBA, right? But I have started my own software company, which is recognized as a top 10 company in India, right? I am not a software engineer, but how could I launch a software company, right? I just went busy in making my hand dirty, right? Learning which I didn't knew the best way I can. The first thing was, let's say it was a keyboard. I found, okay, keyboard, you have to be, great at keyboard. When we say keyboard, let's go, right? The very basic and fundamentals. What would be your typing speed? Nobody. मेरे हिसाब से किसने देखा भी नहीं. Or if I talk about 130 words per minute, wow. So what I'm saying that irrespective of the industry, get ready to put your hands on dirty. I'll be just waiting for the right question, which will come to me, and wherein I'll be talking about me, right? How the things are going to evolve. Field experience is the very basic and fundamental. You have to spend. आपका काफी वक्त तो college में जाता है. Hardly you'll be getting time, but yes, sooner or later you'll be getting into internships and everything. उसको अच्छे से करो. Because as per the US research, let me tell you. 70% of the people who have or are pursuing or doing internships, they are not serious. So getting just a certificate for the sake of employment is not right. Get ready for to get your hands dirty and spend as much time as you can with the customers. The rest I'll come up shortly. Please.
Okay, it's working. Okay, I thought that let's make it interesting because I can see how the students are here and there, and they are. We need to get them back in the action. We have HR heads here. We have people from the HR fraternity here. So why not leverage them? So ask questions. Come on. And at the first few questions are going to come from the last 3 rows. So I do have a set of questions which we prepared and scripted, but I know it's I have 8 minutes, and we're changing the format a bit to engage you and ask questions to the panel, any one of us, and you can throw it all panel, we'll ask, but ask questions because this is your time to leverage on the collective intelligence of all of us sitting here with so much experience. Come on, shoot your questions, and no question is a awkward question or a this question. Come on. First one is always hardest to get. Yes, thank you. Wow. Please, someone can put the mic. Say your name and your stream, and we go live with your question.
Hello. Ma'am, I'm from BCA third year.
Your mic. Yes.
I'm from BCA third year and I'm currently doing an internship. But I want to know कि जब किसी कंपनी के लिए प्रिपेयर करते हो, जैसे एन एग्जांपल कि अभी हम BCA थर्ड ईयर में हैं, बट हम प्रिपेयर करना चाहते हैं कोई भी स्पेसिफिक कंपनी के लिए, तो एक कंपनी के लिए हम कैसे प्रिपेयर कर सके फर्स्ट राउंड से लेके एम्प्लॉयमेंट जब तक ऑफर लेटर ना आ जाए, तो कैसे प्रिपेयर करें, हमारे क्या माइंडसेट होना चाहिए, क्या क्या प्रोसेस रहते हैं, कॉमनली जो प्रोसेस रहते हैं, तो हम कैसे प्रिपेयर कर सकते हैं किसी भी स्पेसिफिक कंपनी के लिए
कंपनी के लिए कैसे प्रिपेयर करते हैं? ओके, Amazon.
It's nothing to do with Amazon, but glad that you asked the question, right? I think I'll ask you an interview question that Amazon asked me, right? And I hope you can volunteer to answer, right? And it'll give us all like some idea about like how to probably answer and prepare, right? So let's say, what's your good name again?
Prince Khatri.
Prince.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So Prince, let's say you are sitting for Amazon and it's for a customer service team, right? And you're asked this question that your team has to handle like 4,000 calls in a week's time, right? This is a situation-based question, and usually nowadays situation-based questions are being asked, right? Of course, apart from the technical rounds and stuff. How will you answer this question? The question is how many people you need, for attending those 4,000 calls. If you could probably answer, there's no right or wrong, and of course, I mean, you can take a jab at it. 4,000 calls, you need to tell me how many people you need in your team. Yeah, I'm not putting you on the spot.
I will take 3 to 4 members.
Okay.
I will delegate them accordingly numbers.
Okay, that's a brilliant answer. And firstly, let's give a huge round of applause for Prince here. Yeah. The point that I'm trying to make is that there's no right or wrong answer to this question, and this is not the basis of how you prepare. But I think what you need, to prepare well for is you can be asked any scenario. This is just one, right? How would I probably answer is probably look into the nuances. Like I would ask back the question: what time of the year is these calls need to be taken? Is it around Diwali? Because if it's around Diwali, people are going to take leaves, right? How many days are my people working? Is it 24/7, all 7 days, or is it just 5 days and Saturday, Sunday week off, right? We need to think about different scenarios and ask these questions back, right? So what I'm trying to say here is that there's no right or wrong way to prepare for an interview, to get into big companies or any company that you may want to join. But it's important to think very practically about how you're preparing yourself, for answering, and basically, basically think like an owner, right? If you were the owner and you wanted to deploy, you would want to you would want to be prepared for all these things. But I really appreciate you raising your hand up amongst all these people. You've already taken one step ahead. And I would definitely remember Prince's name. So if Prince reaches out to any one of us on LinkedIn, I think we'll be offering him something, of course.
Thank you, Prince. Okay, who's the next one up? We have 2. I'll take you, sir, but we'll go back. Yes.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Harish Shinde, and I would start with
a little closer to your yes.
Okay. What are the common challenges that the young entrepreneurs face while on an entrepreneurial journey? To rephrase it, what are the entry-level challenges that the entrepreneurs face?
Maybe I can answer a little bit, and you can yes, no, don't give me that look because so I've done 24 years in HR in various roles. I started my career in the US and then ended up doing head HR roles in France for my especially, and then 6 months ago I founded Pune Training Company, and it's lots of challenges. So it's a startup, and but it's fun. But of course, one is you're transitioning into a phase where you don't have the monthly recurring salary that looks really good on the bank account. So you have to really feel you have to take the decision from a perspective that, okay, if I'm entering into this, how do I make sure that I at least secure for something for the next 2 years? It could be for anything, because in entrepreneurship, nothing materializes overnight. So you need gestation time of at least 2 years, and you have to promise yourself you're going to try this no matter what, in whatever format, for at least 2 years. Otherwise, you won't know if it's working or not, right? So that's one. Second, ability to deal with ambiguity. My God, huge! And agility to just keep changing. Because you need to start when you're 20%, because you keep forming all these ideas in your head. But when you actually start execution, it's something else, because customers need something else, and you can't guess that right. So when you get into the journey, you should have the ability to meander. Like the river meanders, right? You should have the ability to meander like this and do the course. If you're going to say, this is my idea, and no matter what, I'm going to do this only, it doesn't work like that. Because from where you started and where you're going to land is going to look very different, because you will constantly get feedback on your product or whatever you're trying to do. And you should have the ability to consume that feedback and change the course of your startup accordingly.
Okay.
I will also let, please, my colleagues, Manish, you would like to talk a little bit about it?
Hi. Gentlemen, your name?
Yeah. Harish.
Harish. Hi, Harish. How are you?
I'm good.
Good. So you're planning for entrepreneurship, right?
Yeah, kind of.
Kind of. Okay. So the idea is in the mind. Great. MBA? BBA?
MBA.
MBA. Great. This question is a bit pretty ambiguous. When everybody has got different अपने experience के हिसाब से बताते हैं. हर के अपने role models होते हैं. आज मेरे हिसाब से आज सबके role models होंगे Elon Musk, Elon, and then Sam Altman, वगैरह वगैरह जो भी हैं, right? I also did my MBA job किया वगैरह वगैरह. आपके लिए the question is that how to start with, middle ways. मैडम ने एक का जवाब बहुत specific दिया. 2 years of earning. 2 साल पैसा नहीं आने वाला है. शादीशुदा है नहीं है, I don't know, right? 2 साल का पैसा रहना चाहिए. Because ये 2 साल में ना आपकी औकात जो है ना, I mean in the market, networking, your product, your solutions, right? वो wait करती है. Your networks, your connections wait that how are your products or solutions are evolving, right? अभी when we talk about your product or solutions, उसमें जो सबसे main important part है, जिसमें मैं expert हूँ. See, I'm an expert in communication, number 1, right? And product जो भी है, when I started, what I said that मैंने software company start की और मैं engineer में नहीं हूँ. मैंने start किया था KPIT से बंदों को लाया था, सब भाग गए, right? मैं बोला ठीक है, भाग गए, करना है, सीखना है. तो YouTube है, what do you say? यहाँ पे टेक्नोलॉजी वाले काफी लोग हैं, right? I mean, we have people from big companies, so HTML, CSS, सब सीखा. And then I build, मेरे को टाइम लगा 6 महीना. I built the first portal. But ऐसा सीखा था कि मेरे को employees की जरूरत नहीं पड़े. I built it, right? Now the next thing was to sell. Sell किसको? The best influencers in the industry. So if you're talking about bank, not the small bank, why not Axis Bank or ICICI Bank, right? So I sold my products to what I call it Marshall customers. Marshall means who are the key influencers of your market. कोई भी market हो, healthcare, banking, whatever it is, right? एक Marshall customer मिल गया ना, you are gonna get in a lineup through your LinkedIn or through your whatever posts, right? So number 1, as madam said, 2 साल खाना नहीं मिलेगा. As in खाना as in पैसे नहीं आने वाले, no salary. और वो 2 साल में खुद को prove करना है with your product. उस 2 साल में network build करने हैं. And you have to drive like you have to sleep on the floor. I mean हमसे बड़े तो there are a lot of people like Elon Musk. When he started, he was sleeping on the floor, right? So get ready to just, as I said, dirty your hands and कम फूड मिलेगा, कहीं भी सोने का तैयार हो, you have to rub yourself like anything, right? The world seems to be nothing. No girlfriend, no boyfriend, no mom, no dad. Just work, hard work for 2 years. 2 साल में decision हो जाएगा. आप market में survive करेगा और you're gonna be dead. As simple as that, right? Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. There was another hand here somewhere. Yes, please.
So hello everyone, my name is Aditya. Rishwan sir, I want to ask you a question. That what is the thing that makes you feel disconnected with the candidate at the time of interview? So where you make your mind that you will not select that particular candidate, so we can avoid that.
It's really a great question. Yeah. And it made me think, right? We reject candidate, we select candidate, but then how do we do it, right? I believe we heard someone ki when the candidate walks in those first 10 seconds, you reject or select a candidate, right? People say कि ऐसा कुछ होता नहीं है, interview तो 30 minutes चलता है. My technical team says interview runs for 30 minutes. After that we select, right? But let me try to tell you, I saw a lot of HRs here, right? So let me try to tell you guys what actually is happening. Yeah? When the candidate comes in, right? वो फटी jeans वगैरह सब पहन के आएगा तो डॉक्टर अच्छा नहीं रहता, अभी statement दिया था. So when a candidate comes in, right? There is this limbic brain that you have. It has already taken a decision whether you like the candidate or don't like the candidate, right? So the decision has already been taken. But then your frontal lobe, the thinking brain, does not agree to it. So what it actually does is, for the next 30 minutes, it is trying to find a reason to give to your brain that I have subconsciously rejected it and I am rejecting it because of A, B, C reasons. So whatever you answer, it is always going to say negative, right? And it goes the other way around also. Whatever you answer, it is always going to say positive, right? So like you say, that first 1 minute, 1.5 minutes is what is going to define, right? A lot of people rehearse. Huh? Tell me something about yourself. People should, thank you for giving me this opportunity, this means a lot. ये rehearsed line है. ये सबको मालूम है ये rehearsed line है, right? And what happens is, when we hear this line, half of us doze off because we know it has been practiced. So that line really does not make any sense here, right? So first 1 minute, make everyone exciting that hey, kuch to hai isme, right? After that, for the next 30 minutes also, if the interview goes, the interviewer will find something exciting because he believes you are exciting. Those are my 2 cents on this.
Wow, amazing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So currently in Capgemini we have one session which I have also been facilitating and we call it Boombox. In that session, the last 4th session is evaluation. So we evaluate the employees based on only one question. Why do we hire you? First problem rightly stated, the Indian mentality of mugging your answers, by-hearting. So that is something that really disconnects us. Second, the attitude, the over smartness that you think, the disrespect that you immediately your body language will show off. If the panelist is there, he or she is there because of experience. So they will immediately catch your attitude. And the third most disconnect point is your reliability. Everyone has spoken about generative AI and agentic AI. We have to enable them. We don't have to rely on them. And like rightly pointed out by Amol sir as well, the human quotient will also be. So in your reliability, your own truth your own story will be reliable enough to get you the job, right? So generative AI can be your enabler, you can't rely on it. So if you are not reliable, if you are not truthful, if you are not honest about your story, within a minute, the panelist will make up in his mind, in his or her mind, that you are rejected.
Very interesting. Would like to add?
Also, I just want to add, in addition to whatever has been spoken, prepare well. Of course, not mugging up, but prepare well. Some people, in the previous panel discussion, the googly question, you remember what has been told, the googly question, that our company is making losses for last 7 months. Yeah, the guy was not prepared actually. So many times, they don't bother actually to do little bit of research on the company, where you are going, which company you are applying. Is that something which you are excited about, that sector, that organization? Because you need to really show your passion, your interest, truly to yourself. See, companies have choice. And it is not about, like rejection. The word rejection I don't like personally. That is my personal view. It is a figment. I always tell, we are nobody. God has given everybody, that is my firm belief, a quality. Some quality, somewhere somebody will succeed. But it is an issue of the fitment. So we have no right as a recruiter, as a human resources, to put anybody's self-esteem down or say that you are absolutely of no use. Where we have seen somebody is not getting selected somewhere in one interview, is doing very well in something else, in personal pursuits or maybe in becoming a good entrepreneur. So don't feel bad about it, but it is all about a reflection, self-reflection. How am I preparing and how I am going seriously? So you have to be serious about that. Study well. I always tell in all the the discussions and interaction I have with the student, there is no shortcuts. So we have to study well. We have to really do the justice. Go beyond our academic requirements because there are many things available, and with the help of your digital, all these platforms available, make use of it. Make it an enabler, as you rightly mentioned. So that everybody is competing. It's a survival of the fittest. Darwin's theory, survival of the fittest. So for one role, maybe 100 applications must have come, right? So if you are getting selected there, you really need to prepare well and really bring the value to the organization. And the people sitting on the interview panel, they are going to ask those things, they will discuss. And among everybody, it is the best one will get selected. It is not you get rejected. So there are suppose 10 people going there for an interview. So the best one will be selected.
Yeah.
Shortlisting, yeah?
Completely agree.
That is what you should remember always.
It's about alignment.
Alignment, exactly. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I know Pratika is going to make a point.
Sure. A very quick one. How many of you are from Pune? And how many of you are from outside Pune? Right. Now, that's amazing. That's brilliant. I just want to make a point, with all the experiences, with everybody that you connect with, amazing, great mentors. One thing that I would want all of you to leave today with is do not believe, or probably I would say do not separate connecting with your parents or guardians daily. Because that's one thing that sometimes it may or may not, we might forget, right? But I think one call in the morning to your parents or guardians, is very, very important because it will allow you to, kind of realign everything that you're here for, right? And it's something which I learned after coming here in 2014, and I've been following. Anything that happens, the first thing that I do is call my parents, right? So please do that and do not forget it.
Okay, great. I know we're coming to this closure. Thank you. I hope we were able to engage you, all of you, and some of the questions that you had. And thank you so much for engaging. I know it's almost 7:15. I'll just leave you with the story for one of the companies that I was hiring for. To all of us that was saying it's so important to prepare. Yeah. So this is a real life interviewee discussion I'm going to have. So I'm sitting in front of this junior person in an IT tech company and saying, okay, let's talk about it, let's start. The interview comes back saying, Madam, माझ्याकडे वेळ नाहीये, माझा मेट नको घालू. Marathi, all Marathi. माझ्याकडे वेळ नाहीये. हे बघा, the other company offer is about 35 lakhs. Are you matching it or giving me a 20%? Then you talk to me, otherwise I'm leaving. It's like, my God, this guy has guts. Okay, I don't want to talk about behavioral interviews and this. I don't want to do any of that. You tell me you're matching it or not. I said, my God, no. This is no way, or this is no demeanor for us to be engaging in an interview. He said, ma'am, मुझे पता है आपके पास ये टेक्नोलॉजी स्पेशलिस्ट का डेटा का गाय बंदा है ही नहीं. एक दूसरा बंदा था वो निकल के चले गया. एक दूसरी 4 टीम थी वो भी चली गई. So you don't have and you really need someone. And you know I'm the right guy. Okay. I mean, look at the prep of this guy. He had talked to seniors, he had talked to everyone, and there was my business head sitting, there was I sitting, and he knew exactly what's going on in the company. That's next level of preparation that we're talking about. And my business head is telling me, Nidhi, we need to hire this guy. We need to hire this guy. This guy means life and death for the next customer project for me. And I'm saying, no, he's not a behaviorally aligned person. We will not. And finally the case went up to the CEO. So I'm just saying, I mean, there are different scenarios. There is no one fit all. I'm not saying for 1 minute that you should engage in, Madam, 25 lakhs aaye, 35 lakhs aaye, tumi kitni deta. It doesn't work like that. But there are all kinds of people that you engage with and come across with. The person didn't get hired, by the way. But he was absolutely right about all the team members who left. And what happened, I mean, of course we found someone, but it just goes on to the level of preparation that people do, even with the team composition and the managers. A lot of participants talk about candidates, know who is going to interview them, who is the manager, who is the manager's manager. They go up to that level of research, right? With that, thank you so much. I had a lovely time moderating the panel. Thank you. I hope you found some insights out of it. Thank you.
Thank you to our distinguished panelists for sharing practical insights and thought-provoking viewpoints. The discussion has truly highlighted the importance of collaboration between industry and academia. Ladies and gentlemen, please give our panelists a warm round of applause. I would now like to request our Vice Principal, Dr. Ramchandra Mahadik sir, to felicitate our panel members. First, we have Dr. Nidhi Dhanju. Mr. Kartikeya Chaturvedi. Dr. Rishal Gadam. Mr. Manish Roshan. Dr. Ujjal Bhattacharjee. Mr. Nachiket Divekar. Ms. Darshini Dave. I now request to all our panelists to please assemble for a group photograph. You may now take your seats along with our other distinguished guests. We would want... Hello.
We would once again like to thank our panelists and moderators today for a highly insightful and impactful discussion. Your depth of knowledge, thoughtful perspectives, and meaningful contributions have truly enriched this session. Please, audience, give them a big round of applause. We are honored to have a distinguished corporate guest with us at this summit. I now invite our program directors, Dr. Ramchandra Mahadik sir, Dr. Sonali Dharmadhikari ma'am, Dr. Sachin Arikar sir, Dr. Praveen Mane sir, Dr. Satyavan Himbare sir, and Dr. Yogesh Viraf sir to please join us on the stage for the felicitation of our guests.
I request Anthony Rhodes sir, Kirti Mahajan ma'am and Kirti Gupta ma'am to please come on the stage for the felicitation of the
As a token of our appreciation, I would now like to invite our corporate guests to come up on the stage to receive their mementos in order of the announcement of your names. First up, Ajay Vardhe from IIPM. Sir, please join us on stage. Audience, please give him a big round of applause. Mr. Anirudh Jadhav from NIIT Foundation. Mr. Ashok Tiwari from LIC. Balaji Kapsikar from Funding Society, Singapore. Dilesh Agarwal from Elastic Run. Audience, please give them a huge round of applause, everybody. Girish Kelkar from BG Education. Harshit Sharma from Without. Joy Prakash Kumar from Elastic Run. Kumar Gaurav from JP Morgan Chase & Co. Marshall Sarki from Purple Group Ventures LLP. Nasia Nahid from Apex and Consulting. Nishan Saurabh from LIC MF. Pankaj Mate from Geosmatic Cosmeceuticals and Cosmocare Private Limited. Pradeep Chavan from Royal Broker Private Limited. Prashant Bhalerao from NIIT Foundation. Rishal Gadak from Reliance Industries. Santosh Naneshwar Avsarkar, Pursulance GBS LLP India. Saurabh Dikshit from WNS Global. Saurabh Prakash from ICICI Prudential. Shivangi Singh from National Payments Corporation of India. Sukriti Agarwal from Fitel Consulting. And Vasant Shinde from Tata Motors. Anyone who's been left out and has not been felicitated, please join us on stage. Thank you, program directors. You may now take your seats. We sincerely thank you for your continued support and for strengthening the bridge between industry and academia. Ladies and gentlemen, as we near the conclusion of today's enriching discussions, we invite all our guests to continue conversations beyond this auditorium at the networking dinner, an excellent opportunity to connect, collaborate, and exchange ideas in a relaxed setting. Once again, on behalf of IMED and Bharati Vidyapeeth, deemed to be a university, we thank each one of you for being a part of this summit and making it a meaningful and memorable experience. Wishing you an evening filled with insightful conversations and valuable connections. Thank you and have a wonderful evening ahead.